Hello there ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 5, I always know what episode is because it has the number on the top here. Episode 5 of Heavy Metal Sunday at Dunsy's, where I have a cup of coffee, look through an old vintage heavy metal magazine, in this particular instance, Kerrang issue number 5. Dun dun dun. Kerrang issue number 5 from November 1981. So we have that, and we have our reference book here, one of the finest books ever written, up there with The Stand by Stephen King, The New Wave of British Heavy Metal Encyclopedia by Malk Macmillan. Now if you ever do buy this, if you look at the credits and the thank yous, have a look at the person who scanned in all the pictures for this. I don't want to say who it is, but I didn't get a free copy. Before we even start, I would say, I haven't heard from Malk in a couple of decades anyway, about 20 years or something. Malk was one of the good guys, fantastic, is one of the good guys. I haven't heard from him in 20 years. A really, really nice guy, incredibly knowledgeable about the new wave of British heavy metal. Brilliant sense of humour as well. So if he's out there, I hope he's doing well. Please do get in touch. So anyway, issue number 5, November 1981. I'm going to try and do all these with a minimum of editing. Try and keep it below 30 minutes, just go straight through it. And I'll scan some of the stuff in as well, as we're looking at. So 50 pence, your bargain basement Kerrang heavy metal magazine, 1981, maybe not as bargain basement. So who is in it? We have all these on the front with an exclamation mark at the end of every one. Saxon, Rush, Priest, Maiden, BUDGIE, Aussie, RIOT, Speedwagon, RIOT, HAGR, Wild Horses, TYGERS, Billy Squire, Frank Marino, Stevie Nicks, Yesterday and Today, Rock Goddess, and 50 heavy metal movie LPs to be won. So I don't think by this point Kerrang has started reviewing albums. I think that's maybe a bit later on. They kind of changed the way things were here because we started with the letters. Letters used to be at the back. Letters, say it loud. So what are these letters about? I'll read one out. I say I don't want to scan these in, I don't want to embarrass anybody 43 years after the fact. Kerrang is ace. The perfect mag for any self-respecting headbanger. Indeed. It will certainly sell well, and I will be one who is buying it. Love the colour pictures. One criticism: AC/DC are probably the best heavy metal group out today in 1981. They are certainly my favourite group, and I'm sure a lot of others agree. Apart from the front cover of the first issue and the top 100, there has been no mention of Angus's Ace Army. Please send a lot more info and photos on AC/DC, and also a lot more on Iron Maiden. And that's from Jimmy in Preston. And there's Bon Scott sniffing his own armpit. We've all been there. What else have we got here? Sammy HAGR. He hadn't done HSAS by then, had he? We have an advert for Rose Tattoo. Well, please do let me know in the comments. I mean, YouTube is all about engagement. More people comment on my videos, the better my camera focuses. The more people that comment on my video, and the more people get to see it. So if you have any thoughts on any of the bands that are in this particular issue, in this episode, if you saw them, if you got the album, please do let me know. So Rose Tattoo, the charge was assault and battery. Oh, classic. Priest. Rob, with a bit of hair. KK and Glenn Tipton. Classic era Priest, the classic era Priest. Gillan, Double Trouble. Recorded live at the Reading Festival, one of them, Double Trouble. That was probably Bernie's last hurrah with Gillan. Rock Goddess. I'm down ready. That's not their tune, obviously. God, they look young there. Rock Goddess. How old are they here? Clocking into the tender ages of 18, 18 and 14. Goodness gracious. Julie was only 14. Managed by their dad, I think, originally. So here's my favourite bit of these ones. Is my camera focused? Oh, Armed and Ready Palace. Arrive Alive. Do. Who did I see Palace with? Spotted UFO. Once I think it was. Palace, was it? Maybe. Palace from Aberdeen. From Aberdeen, the Granite City. Palace are Aberdeen's longest surviving rock band. Still going, maybe? This is 1981, obviously. First formed over 5 years ago. So what I'll do is I'll scan these in so you can read them at your leisure. And then we have, who do we have here? Oh, come on, Jeff, you're probably saying, how can you possibly go a bundle of musicians who calls himself Kevin Wet? What's this? This is Kevin Wet with a BC Rich and 2 Marshall Stacks. Let me know in the comments. In fact, let's look up as Kevin Wet in the International Book of Tigers, TUVW V Kevin Wet. Is Kevin Wet in here? I don't know anything about Kevin Wet. No, he's not even in the. He's not in the Heavy Metal Encyclopedia. My camera's getting right on my fucking tits. Sorry for the language on a Sunday, folks. Mendes Prey. Mendes, good band. I'll scan this in as well. All it mentions the Bailey Brothers. Heavy Petting. Oh, classic Scottish band, Heavy Petting. Reformed again, of course. What's the drummer? What's the drummer's band now? He's now the singer in a band. Can't remember. And Medusa. Oh, Steve Grimmett. Who went on to form or be in Grim Reaper with Jeff Bocott. And Lance Perkins on guitar. Bonus points if you can tell me in the comments. Who did Lance Perkins end up? What was the band that Lance Perkins ended up in? Stack attack, stack attack. The eagle has landed. Saxon spread their wings. Oh, Biff with his spandex on. I saw an advert on Facebook today. I think they're playing in Glasgow again next year with Udo Dirk Schneider. And he's playing the whole of... Well, what album's he playing? It's not Balls. What was it? Is he doing the whole of the rest of it? I can't remember. Anyway, Biff. Steve Dawson, Graham Oliver, Pete Gill, Paul Quinn. I know that Paul Quinn's left Saxon and Brian Tatler has joined, but I saw a photograph the other day there of Paul Quinn and Graham Oliver. I don't know if they're friends again. The Rods. Too Hot to Stop. It's the first Rod album, not Too Hot to Stop. Frank Marino looking resplendent in some sort of dog collar with his Gibson SG and magnificent mane of long hair. Maiden, what was this it? Maiden with new singer Bruce. So he's still called Bruce at that point in time. Having a couple of beers. Behind the Iron, open brackets, Maiden, close brackets, curtain. Iron Maiden, somewhere in behind the Iron Curtain. Where are they? Zagreb, Belgrade, Yugoslavia. God, all that turmoil since then, and the sort of Baltic states. Y&T. I saw a photograph the other day of Dave Meniketti's Les Paul, which I think he's used at every gig since 1974 or something like that. From Oakland, California. I've been to Oakland, California. I played a gig there once. Holocaust live. I've got heavy metal music in my blood. Sammy with his red Explorer. Red, I want red. Oh, look at this. Classic Rush picture there. Now the problem with my camera is when it goes in to try and focus on the magazine, it then doesn't focus when it comes back to me. So there's a whole sort of Rush discography there, stuff like that. Strictly for connoisseurs, let me know in the comments, do you own any of these? Pavlov's Dog, Pampered Menial, Alice Cooper, Easy Action. I've got that. Is that strictly for connoisseurs? Michigan Rocks. I wonder if my friend Fred has got this. Michigan Rocks. The Runaways live at the Starwood. That was like an unofficial thing. It was a radio promo or something like that. And the Stooges Funhouse. I think most people probably have. Now, I'll warn you in advance. My apologies in advance. You're going to see a grown man in his pants. Not me, by the way. Not me. So here we go. Jimmy Bain. The late great Jimmy Bain. Scottish fella. I'm not trying to be Richie Blackmore, but I know what I want. Jimmy Bain gives a scam on wild horses. Oh, I think he's thrown he's thrown Robbo out by then. And the new band is featuring ex-Lautrec, Main Gasoline, do. Reuben Archer vocals, Lawrence Archer. I think Reuben Archer is Lawrence Archer's, or was Lawrence Archer's father-in-law, something like that. And Frank Noon, formerly of Def Leppard. So he's thrown Robbo out by then. Are you ready for this? Now, look away, you understand it's a Sunday. Here's Jimmy Bain in his pants. You don't need to see that on a Sunday afternoon, or indeed, anytime. What do we have here? Wild Horses. Wild Horses, such a good band. Such a good band. Lawrence is a brilliant guitar player. He's not Robbo, but he's a brilliant guitar player. Billy Squire. Who did I see the other day that has done a cover of The Stroke? Stroke me. That didn't do Billy's career any good. Who was it? Enough's Enough. Sure I saw Chips Enough doing a cover of The Stroke by Billy Squire. But lots of ladies in the video. And it's 2024. It was actually okay. Got a good version. The TYGERS of TANG. One of my favourite bands, Budgie and RIO Speedwagon. I was talking about RIO Speedwagon the other day. I was in guitar, and young Alfie said he'd bought an Ovation, like a round back Ovation acoustic. And I said, oh, you could be Kevin Cronin. He used to play one. Be Still My Heart. Stevie Nicks. My wife loves Stevie Nicks as much as I do. And my wife looks a little bit like Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks. You can tell when I said that. Stevie and my wife. Atomic Rooster. Mark Reale, I think that is how you pronounce it. Back in the day I probably just said, oh, Mark Real from Riot. I think that's his 59 Les Paul. Guy Speranza in the background. Did you catch the Saxon and Riot tour? 81 was it? I can't remember. Man, Riot. Fire Down Under. You can argue with me if you want, but if you do, you're wrong. Fire Down Under is in the top 5 heavy metal albums ever recorded at any time. Brilliant. Gillan tour dates, and here we go. Compiled by Kerrangers. That word? A selection of your own top 10s. Focus. Fuck, it's really annoying, eh? But I'm not going to go back and edit this. I'm just going to roll with it. It's Oasis. Sorry. I'll read one out here. This is somebody's top 10. This is John from Clevedon. Number 1, Overkill, Motorhead. 2, Paranoid, Black Sabbath. 3, Deep Purple and Rock by Deep Purple. 4, No Sleep Till Hammersmith, Motorhead. Clearly a Motorhead fan. 5, Highway to Hell, AC/DC. Number 6, The Wild, The Willing and The Innocent. My favourite UFO album, I would say. Is it as good as the live album, Strangers in the Night? It's different though, it's different. They're both equally as good, they're just different. Because obviously one's got Michael, one's got Paul in it. Rainbow Rising, Rainbow. Kind of going for the same things here. Number 8, Future Shock by Gillan. Number 9, Spellbound, TYGERS TANG. 10, High and Dry by Def Leppard. Please do let me know in the comments. As I say, it's all about engagement. Let me know in the comments. I'll maybe scan some of these in so you can see. What's your 10? What's your top 10 heavy metal albums? Now you can only do up to, what date were we on? You can only do up to November 1981. You know, don't put like the latest Def Leppard out. I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't, but like don't put that in. Like that. Just what's your top 10 metal albums up to November 1981? And on the back page, we have Ozzy and Son. It's like it's like a BBC comedy, Ozzy and Son. It's like the Trotters or Steptoe or something like that. Brilliant makeup though, for Mr. Osborne. So there you go. I'll have scanned some of the stuff in while I've been reading through it. I've been constantly pointing at my camera because it's not focusing. I have been speaking in a Scottish accent, so if you're doing auto translate on or closed captions on YouTube, you won't understand what I'm saying at all. Yeah, I'll have scanned some of the stuff in, and you can press pause and read it at your leisure. So there you go, folks. That was episode 5 of Heavy Metal Sunday at Dunsy's, where we had a quick look through Kerrang issue number 5 from November 1981. Hope you have a great weekend. Cheers for now.